Boris Johnson and the EU's Ursula von der Leyen have set Sunday as the new deadline to reach a firm decision on a future Brexit trade deal, and the Prime Minister is said to considering a compromise that will likely infuriate Brexiteers. Huge sticking points on fishing, state aid and governance still remain, with the Ms von der Leyen concluding earlier this week the UK and EU were still far apart on those issues. French President Emmanuel Macron has retained his hardline stance on fishing in a move which threatens to scupper a trade deal between the EU and the UK. Mr. Macron insists he does not want France to have its cake and eat it, but he is also not going to give up his share of cake, which he believes is giving EU fishermen the same rights in UK waters as they had when Britain was part of the bloc. In a bid to break the deadlock and meet his and the European Commission President's Sunday deadline, Mr. Johnson is said to considering options to entice Mr. Macron to accept the UK's proposals. Government sources have signaled to the Daily Telegraph financial support could be offered to EU fishermen by Mr. Johnson in a bid to secure a deal in the final days of talks. It comes after reports last month suggested fishing quotas could be delayed until a later date, permitting EU fishermen to continue operating in UK fishing waters from January 1, 2021 as part of a transition period for fisheries. With less than 48 hours to the Sunday deadline, contingency plans have been escalated on both sides as a no-deal Brexit has become increasingly likely, with the transition period due to end on December 31. Despite this, Mr. Johnson has remained confident the UK would thrive with or without a deal, although he has stressed the former is more preferable. The Prime Minister argued while leaving the transition period without a deal was not what he had set out to achieve. It would allow the UK to do exactly what we want from January. He told The Times, "Unfortunately, there are two key things where we just can't seem to make progress. I've got to tell you that from where I stand now it is looking very, very likely that way we'll have to go for a solution that I think would be wonderful for the UK, and we'd be able to do exactly what we want from January." The European Commission President also told EU leaders yesterday morning a no-deal Brexit was more now probable. Ms. von der Leyen said, "I will not give percentage odds, but there is higher probability for no deal than a deal." She has also repeatedly made clear, to Mr. Johnson, the principle of fair competition, which would require the UK to remain tied to EU-equivalent trading standards, was a deal-breaker for the Brussels side.